For 100 years, the Chicago District Golf Association has stood for excellence in this extraordinary game of golf. Now the CDGA's magazine comes to life on TV. Chicago District Golfer celebrates the traditions of the past while connecting with the present. It's a golf show that is sure to inform and to have a little fun along the way. For what's important in Chicago golf, it's Chicago District Golfer TV.
In this holiday edition of Chicago District Golfer, the USGA stops in for some insight on growing the game. We embark to the unmatched weather and fantastic golf in Palm Springs, California. The legendary Lee Trevino visits Chicago for a noteworthy conversation. We'll take an inside look at a major renovation at a local favorite. Plus, Greg Norman gives us a few pointers and thoughts on his career. Happy holidays, everyone, and welcome to the Chicago District Golfer. All year long, we've traced the 100-year history of the CDGA. This proud association last month celebrated its centennial with over 500 guests in downtown Chicago.
Well, it's a wonderful opportunity for the CDGA to celebrate and share with all of our member clubs this auspicious moment. We have 25 founding clubs from the Chicago District Golf Association.
On display at the event was the prestigious U.S. Amateur Trophy. It'll be handed out next summer at Olympia Fields Country Club.
Well, first of all, it's a great facility. It's a great 36-hole facility. A lot of effort put into the South Course with the Steve Smyer restoration. And we knew those were two top courses that could handle both forms of the stroke, both rounds of the stroke play in that portion of the championship.
Members of the USGA were in town to honor our sport and discuss ergonomic factors such as watering courses less. This in turn can lower greens fees and actually lead to the game being more fun for everyone.
You know, when you play a golf course that's drier, if you think about it logically, for the average player, the higher handicap, they're going to get more roll on their drive. They're going to hit their drive further. And it also gives you the ability to bounce balls into greens. And bottom line, it just makes the game more enjoyable, because one of the joys of golf is trying to determine what happens when your ball lands. Where's it going to bounce to? Where's it going to roll? And if things are overwatered, you lose that element.
By looking at the turnout this night at the Palmer House, the game's loved by many. Golf's one of the few sports in which even we mortals and weekend hackers can have that special moment.
Let's not make the game more difficult than it is. And you know, from a recreational sport, what sport do you know that you can really hit that unbelievable pro-like shot several times during your round? And that's what brings people back. So we got to get them in the game, get them exposed, but don't make it too difficult for them. Play teeing grounds and distances a golf course that is commensurate with your skill level.
With hundreds of courses strewn throughout Chicagoland, we sometimes take how lucky we are for granted. The USGA realizes the Windy City's role was a major launching pad for golf in America back in the 1890s.
To me, Chicago really had so much to do with the birth of golf in this country. And even though most of the golf courses really did start in the Northeast, interesting enough, I mean, truly the father of the game of golf is Charles Blair Macdonald. He's the one that really built the country's first course over here, built the first 18-hole course in Chicago Golf Club. Charles Blair Macdonald's the guy who ultimately founded the USGA. I mean, if it weren't for him, we wouldn't have been founded in 1894.
The USGA said it's still looking at Chicago to host a U.S. Open in the not-too-distant future. Up next, we'll travel to a desert golf oasis which boasts more than 120 courses. Stay with us.
You're a complicated, diverse creature. A fine mix of debonair and adrenaline. Battle scars, and good jokes. With an exceptionally smooth taste, only 95 calories and 2.6 carbs, Michelob Ultra is the superior light beer, perfect for every side of you.
Many people think you run a business just to make money. No, You run a business because you get to build something. You get to impact the future, to help employees and partners put their kids through school. You get to create value that didn't exist before, because that's your name on the building. And it's not just a payroll, it's people's lives, and they're like family. And there's nothing like reporting to yourself. At MB Financial Bank, we know why you work. MB means business.
Well, Bob Hope will always be recognized as one of Hollywood's greatest stars. What's often overlooked is his contribution to golf. The PGA Tour's Bob Hope Desert Classic pioneered a golfing boom in glorious Palm Springs, California.
Palm Springs is a mecca for golf with over 120 courses within a 40 square mile radius. So all kinds of venues for you to play, some in the mountains, some on the desert floor. One of the great things about Palm Springs is you're always going to be able to find that tee time.
All of the courses in the desert, also known as the Coachella Valley, are impeccably manicured. The mountain ranges are closer than one can find in the Scottsdale area, which leads to playing the game in a stunning arena. One course that's one of the more reasonably valued layouts is the friendly and fun Omni Resorts Rancho Las Palmas. Here you'll discover a 27-hole facility that features soaring palm trees and a pure mountain backdrop.
It's just a fun golf course. It's not a tough PGA West golf course, but people walk off here very happy about it. So we get a lot of repeat business. There's a wide array of golf courses here now and tons of competition, which is good. But at the same time, it's all about location. And our location here at Omni Rancho Las Palmas is phenomenal, right in the middle of everything. You have Palm Springs on one direction, La Quinta in the other, and everybody kind of meets up in the middle.
Moving down the road is the world-class 36 holes at Indian Wells Golf Resort. This venue has hosted a variety of professional tournaments, including the Golf Channel's Big Break, and it's also hosted the PGA Tour's Skins Game. The Players Course and the Celebrity Course have each received recent renovations, making them must-plays when you visit the desert.
Clive Clark is the course designer, and he's very well known for the aesthetics that he puts into his golf courses. You'll find on the Celebrity streams, waterfalls, brooks that run throughout, as well as annuals and wildflowers to mix in with the local palm trees and tropical plants. So aesthetically, it's unlike any golf course you've seen.
The Players Course was opened in 2007, designed by John Fote, and the Players Golf Course presents a unique challenge insofar as it measures 7,300 yards plus from the back tees. It's a par 37 on the front, 35 on the back. The front nine measures almost 4,000 yards, so it can test any level of player on the course. It also has a lot bigger greens, wider fairways, plays a little bit longer, but not quite as undulating as the Celebrity.
One of the things that sets Indian Wells apart is that 4 hotels are within walking distance. One of those hotels is the 530-room Hyatt Regency Resort and Spa. Many of the guest rooms overlook the golf course and are properly appointed to fit each traveler to a tee.
And we have a really top-rated, beautiful spa, Agua Serena, which you would want to check out. We have great food and beverage, Lantana restaurant with serving innovative Italian cuisine. We have the Gala bar, which does nightly entertainment. Great for some margaritas. Great setting overlooking the course here with the fire pits. And let's not forget the pool. We have 7 pools in all, in addition to the various spas around the resort. So you can get lost on these 50 acres pretty easily.
In addition to all the dining options at the Hyatt, one can simply walk 200 yards back to the stunning and futuristic clubhouse at the Indian Wells Golf Resort. This is certainly a pleasing alternative to the standard golf clubhouse, and it houses numerous pieces of interesting art. Plus, the stylish pro shop has all one could possibly desire. The View restaurant stands high above in the valley and is sure to satisfy any palate.
Our View Grill and Bar is upstairs dining, and it's a traditional clubhouse fare. All of our restaurant outlets are farm to table, so we utilize local fruits, vegetables, and California bred meats. We also have the View Sushi Bar, which is one of a kind. There is not another clubhouse in the valley that offers sushi.
Here it's a lifestyle where you can let your cares drift away. But the bottom line is it's the golf which draws one to Indian Wells.
Our facility being 36 holes gives you a lot of different options. First off, the courses are both very diverse. Celebrity Golf Course has narrow corridors, very undulating, and small greens that are also very undulating as well. The Players gives you a little bit more of an expanse so you can air it out a little bit, but you're also going to find that the challenge on the Players matches up with the Celebrity, if not even a little tougher.
Everything leads to relaxation and a vacation that will tickle your senses. Add in the Coachella Valley's astonishing 350 days of sunshine, and you have a surefire guarantee of a climate that leads to an unforgettable experience.
You really couldn't replace the mountain vistas that we have here, the Santa Rosa and San Jacinto mountain ranges. In fact, it's one of the great scenes in all of golf when a guest is here in January, February, or March. It's an 80-degree day and it's sunny, but yet you look up on the mountains and they're capped with snow. It's truly an amazing sight and really adds to the experience as you're enjoying yourself out on the golf course.
It's an oasis. You know, it's a paradise in the desert. And what you have here in this time of year is you have a perfect world, not a cloud in the sky. And the desert scape is just striking. I think that's part of the play in the desert, is that contrast, that backdrop of the Santa Rosa Mountains and the desert scape with the green of the fairways and tee boxes and so forth. So it's a great experience if you haven't been to the desert before.
If you'd like a slice of Palm Springs for yourself, then get on board with the CDGA's excursion to Indian Wells in late January. Go to cdga.org for all the information. Next up, we'll look at the renovation of a well-loved Chicagoland course and catch up with the iconic Lee Trevino.
Are you ready to go? How's the hip?
I think you know that we have to take this one plant at a time. It's really the only way that Eunice Feldman knows how to garden. We have got a lot of great bulbs, strong perennials. I am looking forward to a great season and can't wait to get back out onto the field. So thank you and good night.
Eunice!
You've worked hard. Now it's time to play. Experience North Scottsdale's best private golf at Terra Vita. Enjoy meeting new friends while playing our award-winning private course for men and women of all skill levels. We welcome personal golf carts, and home ownership in the community is not required. Uniquely upscale, be embraced by our warm and friendly atmosphere. There's a reason Terra Vita is rated #1. Terra Vita Golf Club. Well played.
Recently, the WGA held its annual Green Coat Gala, raising money for the Chick Evans Foundation. This year's guest speaker was the legendary Lee Trevino. He shared insights on a number of topics, including Chick Evans and the foundation that's given so many a chance for a college education.
I spent a lot of time with him. I mean, he and I were a lot alike, to tell you the truth. We laughed a lot and we did a lot of talking. And matter of fact, when I came back in 1971 from the British Open, where I had won the 3 in a row, the U.S., the Canadian, and the British, he was at the airport because the Western Open was being played that year at Olympic Fields. The thing that you have to understand is you really don't learn to appreciate someone when he's living and realize what he has done for so many people. And as a matter of fact, I was talking to Jeff about it, and I says, you guys, this is like an alum. I said, you've got 10,000 kids that have gone off their scholarship, and now they come back, and hopefully a majority of them, or maybe all of them, are very successful, and hopefully they don't forget how they got there in the first place.
Be careful what you wish for. And seriously, when I tell you this, and I'm going to tell you this story, and for people that are non-believers, you understand, because I died that day, and he told me he had enough pros up there already. He had Demerit and all these people. He said, I don't need you up here. And I mean, I saw the other side. It was wonderful. It was a hell of a lot better than here. It was really nice. It was really nice. But I wanted to tell you what happened here. We played the U.S. Open at Medina the week before. And then we just came across and we're going to play Butler for the Western Open at the time. And I remember I'm standing on the first tee at Medina. And it started cracking. It started lightning and raining, and it started getting bad, and I hadn't teed off yet. And there were about 10,000 people on the tee watching us. And I'm sitting there talking to them, entertaining them. And a security guy comes out of the clubhouse and told me to get back in the clubhouse because they told me that all the players had to go in. And I said to him, I said, listen, what about the people that are standing here? Where are we putting them? And he says, well, I don't know about the people. He said, they told me to bring you in. And I said, I'll tell you what, forget it. I'm going to stay right here and entertain my people. And by the way, I said, don't worry about it. I said, I'll take a 1-iron out, just hold it up. I said, because God can't even hit a 1-iron. Now, you know what happened the next Friday on the 13th hole at Butler? I got zapped.
But you had an 8-iron.
I had a 6-iron.
Okay.
Par 3. Hit it 3 feet. Yeah, and I'll tell you what. And I went down there, and the problem is that I sat next, it hit the lake is what it did. It hit the lake, went out. Hit me, Jerry Hurd. Jerry Hurd never played again. He was a hell of a player, as you well know. Yeah. And Jerry Hurd would have been a superstar.
Bobby Nichols also
Bobby Nichols had hit. But Bobby Nichols was already, you know, a little bit this way.
He was already up there.
I think I would just try to, you know, he's forgotten who he is. He is the best. He's Tiger Woods. You understand? I mean, there's no one else like him. He's won 14 majors. He's won 73 golf tournaments, or 4. I mean, that doesn't go away just because he got hurt. I mean, he didn't lose his talent. I think he's going to come back.
How do you feel the direction of the PGA Tour is going with all the gurus, with all the fitness, all the mental coaches, all the video? The players don't really own their swings, do they?
They don't own anything. I mean, I don't understand. Listen, they're going now to press conferences, and they've got masseuse. They got a guy that tells them what to say. They've got a guy that
what to eat.
What to eat.
Mental, yeah.
And are you kidding me? A 6-pack of beer and a bucket of fried chicken, and I'd kick your ass tomorrow in a minute.
It's always fun to hear from Lee Trevino, and this year's event raised $800,000 for the Chick Evans Foundation. Well, Chicago area courses have settled in for a long winter's nap, but for several courses like the Mount Prospect Golf Club, next season will bring more than the usual spring reawakening. After significant renovation, it's more like a rebirth. Back on June 17th, the Mount Prospect Golf Club closed its fairways to begin an ambitious renovation project. The idea to update this nearly 90-year-old classic was born of a need to fix major structural issues.
This project was started because the irrigation system at the course was over 30 years old. It was crumbling from underneath. And also the drainage really needed to be repaired too, to move water off the course, but also store water to feed the irrigation system. So that was the impetus of the project, and then it was, well, if we are going to dig up the golf course to do all that work, then why don't we put it back using the space that we have in the best possible way?
The golf course actually sits on a relatively small parcel of land in a quiet residential neighborhood. Trying to use every last bit of land efficiently required thinking outside the box.
You know, it's a little bit like packing your trunk. You've got room for 7 suitcases in your trunk sometimes, and you need 7.5, or you need to fit your wife's purse in there or something. And you just have to keep turning it around until they all fit.
When all was said and done, only 5 holes were completely redesigned and rerouted, but that's not to say the rest of the course was left alone. The entire course was stripped down to the clay base in order to deal with the water issues, creating some interesting topography.
Well, one of the things we had to do was move dirt out of the way and save the topsoil. You can't make any more topsoil. So the big mounds were basically just holding areas for the dirt that had to be moved in order to put in the drainage system and the sprinkler system. And for the drainage system, That literally involved miles and miles of pipe. Some drains were as big as 24 inches around. So it's moving water off the golf course in the most efficient manner, and then you follow that up by installing the irrigation system, which is obviously going to be used to keep the course alive during its lifespan.
Probably the most important aspect of the project was the building of the greens. All 18 were built from scratch, adhering to strict USGA guidelines.
What we see here is the rough shaping of a green, basically how a green starts. It's all this clay soil that they use to make the contours, and then they cut out this like bowl where the other under drain is going to be. This is the second phase in building a USGA green. After the rough shaping and the blacktop the black dirt is spread back around the surrounds of the golf hole, you come through and they call it the under drain, or draining the green. And these drain tiles, 4-inch wide, will be, I think, placed about 6 inches below ground and then covered with about 4 inches of pea gravel. What you're seeing is the final phase of USGA green. It's the under drain is installed, the pea gravel is on top of there, about 4 inches of that. Then it finishes off with 12 inches of USGA sand mix, which has a little bit of organic in it. It's not 100% sand, just for growing. And then what they'll do is smooth this to the exact contours and then plant it. So this is almost done.
It was a race against time and the elements to get it all done, but the grass was seeded and the project completed before Old Man Winter came a-calling. Now it's time to sit back and wait.
Well, there's no question that this was a great golf course before. I think it's going to be an even greater golf course now. Certainly more difficult, but it will be fun to come back here and experience something new after the same thing all these years.
Well, where we are now is basically done. The course is laid out, shaped, and planted the way it's going to be. All of the heavy machinery is out of here. We just need a nice mild winter and a great early spring, and we'll be ready for play in the summer of 2015.
Look for Mount Prospect to have a few touches of Seth Raynor's renowned Shore Acres, opening next summer. We have one last break to take. When we come back, we get some pointers and thoughts from the man known as the Great White Shark.
What are we doing now?
Rule number 6, practice is overrated. You know, when I played on the tour, I used to practice after every round. Boy, was that stupid.
Visit ExperienceScottsdaleGolf.com to learn more about how we play the game.
I love Scottsdale Golf.
Welcome back to the show. Last fall, Greg Norman paid our fair city a visit and stopped by the historic Oak Park Country Club. Our Dave Lockhart captured plenty of wisdom from the man known as the Great White Shark.
Tour Talk is sponsored by the Scottsdale Convention and Visitors Bureau.
So the secret of hitting power shots is swing from the ground up, not from the top over. So if you can feel like you're rooted into the ground, solid like this, and you get in there and you're in the ground, right? Nobody can push me off my feet right here. When I come in, I'm pushing into the ground, and then you come up and out.
When you were #1 in the world and one of those best players, obviously the best at the time, what was that like for you personally? You achieved it and then you were there for so long. What was that like for you when you look back on it now?
Well, obviously, you look back on it with a lot of pride because I always thought myself as a global player. My responsibility of reaching the pinnacle was to promote the game of golf on a global front. So I really didn't have any boundaries, to tell you the truth, you know, for geo boundaries, not geopolitical boundaries, but geo boundaries. But I always thought that the game of golf was the most important thing to push out there. So when I look back on it, I thought I did a very good job of balancing, traveling the world, winning in those parts of the world, speaking about the game of golf. And now it's, you know, it's totally different. I now give speeches to the Chinese government, you know, about the game of golf. I am asked to be head of the you know, advisory council for the China Golf Association, helping kids get into the Olympics in 2016. So, you know, it's amazing how the cycle goes, quite honestly. And the game of golf will always give you something, whether you are on the golf course performing week in, week out, but also here at my age, still having a pretty significant impact on me about what I can deliver for the game of golf.
What about the competition? We don't see you playing much anymore. Do you miss it? Do you want to do some more of that? Or, you know, the Champions Tour was never one of your goals, I know, but,
no.
But kind of talk about that if you could.
I never wanted to be a ceremonial golfer, number one. Number two was I have a thriving business that I started in 1993, and it's really taking off. And my focus was my legacy in the world of business. My focus was establishing a global footprint for the business, not just here in the United States. So, you know, I had a lot of other reasons why I didn't need to go out there and play the senior tour. And quite honestly, I'm loving it. I really do love that part of life right now, and I don't miss the travel. Before I had to combine playing golf as well as business, as well as family time. Now I just do business and family time. So I actually have a little bit more time for myself because I do not play the game of golf. So, you know, there are sacrifices you have to make. And quite honestly, I didn't want to go and be in a hotel from Tuesday to Sunday again, you know. You never hit at a golf ball. You have to hit through a golf ball, right? So if you're going to hit at the back of the ball, you're going to go in there and go, hit, oh, slow down. I always played, every shot I ever hit, from putt to everything, I always tried to hit the front of the golf ball. I wanted that energy of my golf club to be going through the back of the ball and keep going all the way.
A couple of days after our interview, Norman had an accident with a chainsaw down at his home in Florida. Thankfully, he's fully recovered. Well, that'll do it for this special holiday edition of Chicago District Golfer. Don't forget to get out and practice at your nearest indoor facility this winter, or head to a warm weather destination to enjoy this great game. Happy holidays, everyone.